Well, I'm out here recrimping wires. These wires are notorious for breaking. There's actually another one in here, this other gray and green one, that's kind of on its way. But so that's all recrimped, and then I did the speaker for good measure as well. I didn't do a very good job with my crimping when I replaced those speakers. So I'm going around both sides doing that. Door panels down there, and just trying to get this. I hit a bump the other day and it knocked out one of these two speakers until I hit another big bump, and then they came back. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go in and recrimp everything. Alright, just got back from taking a drive. Got the oil warmed up. I'm going to change the oil. It's going to be a very early oil change, but I may be going on a 3,500 mile drive this week, so gotta get this truck ready in case this is the truck that I take, if I am going. And this is our first oil change since stuff fell off the truck, and so we want to look at the quality of the oil, see how it looks. I don't expect things to be much different from a soot perspective, because it's going to take a few oil changes to have any difference at all. But the rising oil level issue, which we blamed on regens, we'll see if that has been solved. So let's jump into it. And the oil of the day is the Shell Rotella T5. I'm using this oil because I want to do an apples to apples oil analysis with this for a future video. So we did an oil analysis with this truck at 4,000 miles with this oil in it. So that's what we're going to do again, so that's apples to apples. While I'm waiting for that oil to cool off a little bit, I've got one of these, which is going to be very helpful on this truck. This is the Futomo drain valve. Comes with this blue gasket on it, and it's got a little switch on the side that will allow you to drain oil in a controlled manner. This is good just to, number one, prevent your oil from coming flying out, which it tends to do on this truck. And also, if you just want to take a little oil sample out and send it in for analysis, you could just open it up, fill up your sample, and then close it back up. That way you don't have to drain your entire truck of oil just to do a oil analysis. Alrighty, I'm going to try and film this. This is a demonstration of how fast oil will come out of this truck. Oh, and look at that. Oh my goodness. All over the socket set. This is what we're going to try and stop it. Hey, look at how nice that oil is. I can actually see through it. That's a first. I guess we are seeing results already. And here we are installed. The part number there, F104. There goes the Bronco. You always know when he's rolling out. New oil going in. I'm pouring it this way so y'all can see the oil. Okay, I got some big news here. All this oil is in those containers, and we did have a little bit of spillage when we drained. There's a little bit left in the oil filter, and there's a little bit left in the drain pan. But if you look at this, 1 gallon here, this is a hair over a gallon, and then this is about 2/3 of a gallon, meaning that there's less than 3 gallons here. We probably got about 2.75 gallons, maybe 2.8 out of the truck. Now before we were having a rising oil level, we were getting an extra quart out, so about 3.25 gallons. So that means that there was almost 2 quarts worth of likely fuel, or there was just that much soot that it was displacing space and causing the volume of oil that comes out to increase. So it was either soot or it was fuel from regen that was causing almost half a gallon worth of oil level rise in just a 4,000 to 4,500 mile interval. So that's huge. So now the truck looks like it's very healthy, less than a quart of oil burn per oil change. That's decent. I mean, my 5.9 was better at this stage of life. The 5.9 really, you got a full 3 gallons out that you put in, up to about 320,000 miles, and then it started burning a little bit. Now it burns half a gallon almost, but in 10,000 miles. So this truck is, it would not quite be half a gallon if I went 10,000 miles, but, well, actually it probably would be. We'll have to try that, and we'll try some different products. We're definitely going to look at extending our oil intervals now that the oil looks this good. Quick update for y'all on the Toolbox. This thing, I was wondering about how it would do in the rain, and it sat out in the rain a couple times now. There seems to be a little bit of water that comes through this thing, which is that removable section. It's got 2 little spot welds on it, and this is the gasket for it, and you can see water has dripped down a little bit, but the box is really very dry inside. A little bit of water came in through these things, even with the gaskets on, but that rain was like a power wash kind of rain. So under a light rain, I think these gaskets do fine, and it just drips a little bit down right there. But for the most part, this inside sat out in the rain all night and pretty dang dry in there. I had some of my shop towels down here, and they did get wet somehow. So a little bit of water gets in, but not through the lid. I don't think there's a need for a gasket. No water seen coming through the lid. It was through the locks and through that hole right there. So here's a side note. This truck had a tough week. From Thanksgiving Day to the following Thursday, 3 different damages. Now, first of all, that's the Thanksgiving Day tree right there from back in the trailer in. It looks like the clear coat is a bit damaged there, and there's a bit of a dent, but that's the least of my worries right now. This is actually, this will come off. This is wax from when I washed the truck. That was incident number 1. Incident number 2, tailgate backed into the trailer. Not thrilled about that one either, but from the outside you don't see it. This tailgate really needs bed liner all across the top and on the inside. This is not bed liner. This is just like a gritty paint. And so this I could, if I stood up here and jumped, it would probably put a dent in this thing. It's not very sturdy. If it had this type of material on, like my 03 does, this would be great. But this is an aftermarket bed liner. It's from Line-X. And so this truck came from factory, likely with no bed liner at all. So that's an aftermarket thing. Then I hit a deer. And I hit a deer. I was in 6th gear, so I hit it at a fairly high rate of speed. You can see we no longer have a front license plate holder. And this bumper is cracked. But there is a metal bumper under here. It took the brunt of it, protected the radiators. And then underneath, you can see there's a little bit of fur there on the sway bar. Sway bar took the 2nd shot. And then the steering stabilizer shock boot there is kind of a little bit dinged up, but no damage to the shock itself. So the tie rod end and that sway bar took the next shot. And then I imagine there was some deflection off the rear differential possibly. But no, that deer did not make it. I knocked that deer a good 15 yards further down the road from when I hit it. So it was we couldn't dodge it. We rammed it. Well, I got a little time here, and we're going to take a look at this ball joint press, which was submerged in salt water. And this is seized up, so we're going to try and break it loose. Let that soak for a minute, and then we'll work on these cups too, see if we can get them. If I can get all that rust off, I do have some paint, and I'll try and paint one and see if it turns out good. And then if that works, I may actually go get a nice color colorful color of paint and paint all of these. So this is fun so far. Got this one broke loose. This is the old one. This is no good. You can see how it's bent. I'm going to get rid of that. But we got it broke loose, and the threads are in here. Let me show you. Threads are in there. I've got them cleaned up with that battery terminal cleaner thing there. That worked out pretty good. And we're going to put some WD-40 on this new one. This one seems to be fairly unscathed, but it's never been used, so it's got this nice paint job on it that seemed to have protected it, for the most part, from getting rust. So we are going to spray down the threads on this, and we're going to thread it right on here. Okay. All right. That seems to be working okay on the edge. I think we're getting somewhere. It's a thick layer of rust. And this is what it looks like under that rust. There, we need to remember what these numbers are. It's definitely cleaning up. That's just regular bare metal there now. Maybe painting over them. So it kind of ate through the outer layer, but this underneath, everything seems to be okay. It's going to take a little while, but inside, fire the light up here. I've got inside. Start filming it's tough to clean that up in there, but wow, I mean, phone has a huge improvement already. So I just hosed it down with the hose. That's why it looks like this. Definitely getting there. I think we may be able to salvage this whole set. Well, got that, at least got all the salt water out of it. It is kind of stained in there, but it's going to be fine. That's just stain. It won't be corrosive once we put the new cups when they're fixed up back in there. So just got to let that dry out, and we'll say that's done. Well, my phone died on me there, so not sure where we left off, but I think I'm going to end the video here. This turned out great, and this C-clamp turned out great as well. And these, we have some work to do on those, but I think I know what I'm doing with it. I'm going to end up painting them, and I'm going to color code them. So you can see I have this tape here. Install lower, install upper. So install lower, there's two of those. That's going to be one color. Remove lower is going to be another color, and then so forth with the upper as well. And this is for the Dodge 2500s. So I'm going to end up having 4 different colors, and just know what the colors are, and that'll make it easy to pick out which ones to use if you're doing a ball joint job. So overall, good day. Got a lot done today. Very happy with how the oil looked on this black truck over here. Wonderful. I've never seen it that good, and we've actually solved all of our problems that we had with oil. So looking forward to definitely at some point extending the intervals on the oil change. I still want to do a 4,000 mile interval coming up just for scientific purposes, so I can do a comparison to the past. And then after that, we'll probably shoot for close to 5.9 intervals, which would be about 10,000 miles. So we'll make our way there. I don't think we'll go there right away. We'll probably try a 6,000 or an 8,000 before we get to 10,000. The 5.9 over here, this truck had been doing 12,000 intervals. I've actually moved it back to 10,000 since it started burning about 2 quarts of oil in that 12,000 mile time. So we just changed the oil a little bit more now. But the oil is actually fine. They said that truck's oil could have been good up to about 15,000 miles. So we should be well within range on these. So that's where I'm going to end it. This could be the last video of the year, but who knows? If I end up getting stuck down here, I'll probably have one more video up before the end of 2020. So y'all have a good one. I'll see you next time.